Steve Zoak, the classy guy that he is.
Yeah.
Handing off the belt.
Yes, like you say, you truly will be missed, Steve Stokes. Die hard.
We could do an entire 3-part show.
You know what?
And that's if we limited ourselves on what we talked about with Steve
if
Stokes.
Mr. H, if Mr. H can give me a call, maybe we can do like a dedication show to Steve.
He said H and then he made a grizzly bear noise. You see that? I don't know if he's mad at Nick or turned on by him.
Or we could do a show to all our fallen independent people.
We could. That's a good one. You know what? I don't want to do a shameless shill, and I will thank Nick H because he is helping me on this, as well as Billy Wack and several other people. I am putting together, because I'm a bit nerdy about it, the video editing and stuff. I'm putting together a 3-disc DVD set, The Life and Death of Die Hard Steve Zoak. It's the entire history. I've been gracious enough and lucky enough through different people to get my hands on not only his first match and several matches in between in his many years in the business, but I also have his last match as well and some other special stuff, including his final sermon. So I mean there'll be 3 DVDs packed, jam-packed, for hopefully a pretty reasonable price.
So if anybody want to get in touch with you to be a part of this DVD, what would they have to do? Easy as pie.
Hit me up at PS Hayze. That's PSHAYZE. Nick, I'm going to look at you to put that up on the screen. At yahoo.com. PS Hayze at yahoo.com. And you can hit me up and you can be a part of it. You can come out and we'll film something. We'll talk about it. And we'll generally have a good time.
Excellent. So. Steve Stokes. Now, like I said, we did that. Let's get back to some more of this topic, because like I said, the whole thing,
Are we still talking about the round table?
We still round table.
That round table was popular.
Yes, it was. It was another subject that came out of that thing.
Was it lesbian Nazi hookers abducted by aliens and forced into weight loss programs?
I wish it was, because I swear I would have ran down here for that one.
I'd have been here for the midgets.
But we was talking. But the topic that came up about the Super Show. How
the Super Show or the Super Fed?
Super Fed, Super Show, either one of them. It was like the whole table, actually went around and said it could never happen.
I remember that, and I remember thinking about that, and I know a way that it could happen.
Wait a minute.
Okay, go ahead.
Hasn't it already happened a couple of times? Hasn't it?
Are we talking about like charity shows where many companies come together?
But if you label them whatever you want, but isn't that the same thing?
I guess for the most part, yeah, I guess it would be. But then again, at the same time, like you said, the talent pool is so flooded in different directions and work for multiple companies. It's hard to say, okay, well, you're going to represent here, but I also work there.
But also tell me this, how did these shows work? My thing is, it worked because of one thing, because it wasn't promoter driven. You know what I'm saying? It was wrestling
for a purpose.
Right. Well, not for a purpose. It was like, if it's not promoter driven, when wrestlers just come together and say, well, I don't care who I wrestle, I just want to be part of the show. Doesn't that always work doesn't that always work unless you have a promoter-driven person? Well, this guy needs to go over, this guy needs to go over. We need to find out how much you make here, who makes here.
But it seems like the easiest way to get those egos set aside without a battle is to put a purpose behind it, like a charity, like Fight for the Cure.
But do it always
like tuberous sclerosis?
But do it always need to be?
Like
do it always need to be a charity in front of a show? Do it always need to be? How come we just can't get together?
Unfortunately, I don't see another way, because again, that's one thing. A charitable organization or a charitable cause seems to be an easy way to put the egos and the matter and the money aside.
So are you telling me only way we need to get together to do a big show, somebody have to be on their deathbed?
Oh, I wouldn't say on their deathbed, just a charitable cause. Because can you tell me another way that you can get the egos and the money and well, my guy's got to beat this guy, or I got to have control of this, put aside in an easier or different way nonetheless? Like I'm not saying that's the only way, but it's the only way I personally can think of, or that I personally know of.
Because I would hate to say that all the talent in the Midwest, only way we could come together, either somebody dying, sick, in a wheelchair. Mother is about to croak. Daddy's about to pass away. And that's the only way we could come together. Instead of saying, well, let's give back, let's give the fans something back. That's the only way we could come back and do something. I know we're so above that, but it seemed like that is the only way. You know?
Well, it's unfortunate, but it seems to be the way. But Willie, you know what? As this is your, I want to say, get the right word here, alma mater, if you will, as your daddy would say. You want to announce the next match from Windy City?
Oh, the next match from Windy City. Who going to? It would be. This next match. This next match is from a Windy City. Is it a classic or is it recent or is it?
It's just a match.
Battle of the Belts 18.
And the voice of Jeebus comes.
It's a classic. It's a classic. You have Mike Anthony, man of charisma, against Jason Rain. That's all I'm saying about it.
I keep saying that's the voice of Jeebus, but it's not. It's the voice of Nick H. There are similarities, though. The long hair, the beard, the smell of wine.
It's so funny, right?
But now, this comes in a box.
It's so funny, right? I've been on all these shows. Every last one we mentioned, I've been on all three of these shows.
You know, Windy City is the only company I've ever worked for. And I've only wrestled one match there, unfortunately. The only company I've ever worked for that I've never held a title in.
And look who's managing him. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, it's Joey Eastman.
With hair.
With hair.
With hair. That's a rare thing.
He's looking more like Trevor B now, though. At least hair-wise.
Jason Rain.
That ring looks awfully tall.
Yeah, Jason Rain. Somebody say if you can't say nothing good about a person, just don't say nothing.
I like Eric Priest.
Anyway.
Did that segue make sense? No? I like Eric Priest. He's a great guy.
Well, back to this match.
I don't know nothing about Mike Anthony, and I really don't know Jason Rain. Really, what do you know about Jason Rain?
Anyway, Mike Anthony.
Segue.
Mike Anthony, I like to call Mr. Charisma. You know, if it wasn't for like certain people in this business, I don't think I'd be sitting at this table talking about wrestling. And one of the men in the ring is Mike Anthony. You know, he really taught me how to really move around in the ring, you know, like a big man and stuff like that, you know, like actually how to throw the technical moves on people and stuff like that. So I had to give kudos to like certain people like Sam DeCero, Steve Boz, Mike Anthony, Terry Allen, and James Kleckner. You know, those guys really.
James Kleckner. That's a name I haven't heard in forever.
Yeah, those the guys are like really, I had to really give props out to because if it wasn't for them, I don't think I've been, you know, this stable in the wrestling business. So those guys really helped me out in the beginning and stuff like that, you know.
It's weird because all the people on my list, if I were to do that, none of them were trainers at the time when I got their help.
Yeah, you know.
I don't know, you know, like I said, I don't know your experiences fully, but I know for me personally, I've grown up in the business, and it took me a while to do it, but I've grown up in the business typically because of the people that I've been around.
Right. Yeah.
Like a Stu Early, or like a Tony Scarpone, or like a Steve Zoke, or a Chase Richards, or yourself.
Right, you know.
Because Willie the Bomb, another guy that's helped me a lot in my wrestling career. Can we call it a career?
About wrestling stint.
Wrestling stint?
Yeah. Call it.
I don't want to say hobby.
Well,
I hate Weekend Warrior.
Yeah, I do too. I really hate that. I hate
because I would wrestle during the weekdays if I could.
Yeah. Well, he goes something else. Say like, okay, now that you've been in this, you know, business, you know, can you actually name like people that you like really seeing wrestling and stuff like that? You know, if
are we talking about on TV or if I'm at an indie show?
At an indie show, like indie workers that you like to watch.
Man, there's very few. Like, does Ring of Honor still qualify as indie or no? Have they gotten too big?
No. If you go, you know what? It's not indie. If you go state to state to state to state and got national pay-per-view, it's not indie.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to list. And again, I don't want to be like a mark for specific people.
But you know what though, you have to be a certain mark, you know, because like you say, how you gonna be on the show and don't see, you know, other people wrestle? You know?
I like, and I'm not saying this because you're sitting right here. I've always liked watching you wrestle. I like watching Chase Richards wrestle. Before I had actually met him, I liked watching Stu Early wrestle. You know what? I can name a guy that I really enjoy watching wrestle every single time I see him. Roughneck Jay Ryan.
Yes.
That's another match, and if next time we come back, Nick, we should watch that one. Roughneck Jay Ryan versus Nigel McGuinness.
Right.
He beat the ever-loving crap out of Nigel.
Right.
And you know what? I'm going to say it right here. Nigel went in the back afterwards, sat on someone's car hood and cried. You little British pansy.
Yeah, you know what? For me, I could say a lot of people that I very, really enjoyed, enjoyed wrestling.
He's going to say my name.
Tristin Hayze, not just because he's sitting by me. I always like.
I got a knife under the table. I'm poking him in the ribs with it.
Yeah, in my ankle. Tristin Hayze has been one. Mike Anthony and Steve Boz, they always been. No, the main three: Mike Anthony, Steve Boz, and Terry Allen.
I like watching Prince Ali wrestle.
Yeah, I like him. And who else? Marche. I love watching Marche.
I like Marche. And I don't have, you know what? I hope nobody takes this the wrong way. I don't have a thing against him. I like acid jazz, but I don't like watching him wrestle. Yeah. I'm sorry. I guarantee there's people that say the same thing about me. I know there's people that don't like watching me wrestle. And I like jazz, but something about it, I just can't get into it.
I like jazz. I like jazz. I like his style. But there was always one person that I really enjoyed watching him. And you know what? It's so funny, though. I tagged with him, and the more I watched him, the more I enjoyed watching him. That was Jamel GQQ Quinn. He was like the most fluent person in a wrestling thing. Even though, like I said, he would give you so much stuff before the show, but he was like a fluent person that can just actually move around. You don't even have to talk to him.
Yeah.
He could just move around just like that.
He reads the body language really well. He knows,
Yes, And
he's a funny-looking fella, but if you talk to him in the back or anywhere, he's actually pretty smart. He actually is. You'd look at him and be all like, I bet he's a little out there.
Yeah.
Especially with the hair sometimes.
Yeah, So like I say, it's a lot of people. If, like I said, I wish I had a list. It's a whole lot of people I like watching. I like in the group that I'm in. I like Isaiah Vasquez. I like Lamar Titan. Just a lot of guys. It's this new cat that's coming up. His name's Cedric Keys. You got to keep an eye on him. But it's just like a lot of people that just coming up, and I just like watching it because it's going to get to the point where you're going to stop wrestling, and you have to start watching some of these cats just come up.
We just made a little segue, and we didn't even know about it.
Yeah, well, hey.
That's weird. I had a million more things I was going to ask, too, as we talk about. I got a whole list. Yeah. I got papers on top of papers, next to papers that are sitting, stacked, about to fall over on papers. Just lists of stuff.
Did that match just abruptly ended or something like
that?
Or just, I guess so.
Mike Anthony rolled them up for 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
Mike Anthony got the win.
Hey, Mike Anthony.
When it rains, it pours.
Yes, indeed.
Pun intended.
Nick. Splash. But anyway,
we're gonna edit that out. That wasn't very manly.
But anyway, this we was paying attention, but we just actually didn't see that. So hey,
somebody here didn't take very much interest in that match. I'm not gonna say who. I just poked myself in the nose. Is that hostly?
Nah.
Would that be the right term?
But anyway, we're gonna get back to this. Let's wrap this little subject up. We was talking about
Yeah, let's meet us over here at camera 1.
So
hi.
That's that one.
That's camera 1.
Yeah.
Can I go over to camera 3 too?
Camera 3 is Willie.
Hey, get the black man song. Come on, man.
Whitewash on the black man.
But anyway, okay, let's get to this before we get the big finger and stuff like that. What did you think of it? The whole segment, the whole round table thing. What did you think of it?
I liked the idea of it. I liked the fact that they had such a diverse group. But like I said, I would rather see, and I don't have a problem with the way that it was done for how it was aired, but I would love to see it completely unedited, uncensored. That's my opinion.
You know what? For me, I loved it. I loved everybody had their opinion left and right and stuff like that. But my thing is, it was just one side. Now we need, for as an opposite, they need to be a negative. Now you had the promoters. Now you have to get the workers aspect. And just instead of just two of us, it need to be a round table, just like of workers, and like more like there would be more answers than just coming from two of us. I would like to see what other people have to say.
Well, I guess that's on Nick. Nick,
That's right.
it's up to
I
you.
tell you what, I mean, as you guys know, that I will be working it out.
Come in here, Captain Handsome.
You want me in here? I tell you what.
Come sit on Daddy's lap.
Yeah.
Where am I? Oh, here I am.
So cute.
Oh, I know, huh?
Come here. Watch that hand.
No, wrestling fans, we are going to have you do that very well.
I know. That's what he said.
Wrestling fans, we are going to turn around and have a round table with the workers, so to speak. And,
Can you do a ring rat round table? Woo!
Man,
Or is that just wrong? Can you even air that?
I don't know, but I tell you, wouldn't we have to sanitize the place first?
At least after.
After, yeah, right. On the Mat is working with getting certain talent in that is very well-known Chicago talent for another round table.
Talent, loosely thrown around term.
Yeah, well, say. And I will be the first to ask, would you guys be interested on the next roundtable?
Yes.
I can gladly represent Fire Pro.
There you go.
I don't know if they'll be happy about it, but I'll do it.
Vanguard.
Vanguard.
There you go. But there it is, fans. We are going to be working on another roundtable since we got a good reception out of the roundtable from the promoters, and we're going to definitely keep it going.
And
Right.
I know we're about to wrap up, aren't we?